So penguins are born at a given rate and penguins die at another given rate. Both rates are measured in thousands of penguins per year. And the penguin colony has 40,000 birds at t=0 when we start. How many penguins are born in the first 4 years? So this is just an integral. We are summing up the rate of births. So we're not going to count how many die. We're just looking at how many are born from 0 to 4. The birth rate is 2t plus 1 dt. And since this initial value of 40,000 birds is before t=0, we're not going to count that in the first 4 years. This is already what's there before we start accumulating. So our antiderivative of 2t will be t squared, and our antiderivative of 1 will be plus t from 0 to 4. Now all we're going to do is plug in our limits. 4 squared plus 4 minus 0 squared plus 0. 4 squared is 16 plus 4 is 20. But keep in mind, this rate was in thousands of penguins, so this is really 20,000 penguins. That's our answer to part 1. At the end of year 3, so if we think about all of these integrals and derivatives, if 0 was the beginning of 0, if t=0 is no time, then if we went from the integral from 0 to 1, that would be basically the beginning of year 1 to the end of year 1. So this year 3 is when t is equal to 3. And because we want to know whether the penguins are increasing or decreasing, if we thought about this as the graph, this might be the graph of penguins, and now we'd start to come down and up. Well, at any time, this slope or derivative would tell me whether we're increasing or decreasing. So all I care about is the rate being greater than 0 or less than 0, because this rate is the derivative of the amount of penguins. Another way to think about this is that the population of penguins is going to be equal to what we start with, plus the integral of the rate coming in, like being born, and the rate going out, or the rate dying. And so if we want to know if the number of penguins is increasing or decreasing, we want p prime. Is p prime greater than 0 or less than 0? So the only way to figure that out is to take the derivative. Well, the derivative of this 40 is 0, and the derivative of this integral cancels out, and so I'm just left with bx minus dx, where b and d are birth and dying, and we're using x for the time. And so I'm going to plug in 3 into both equations, and so we have 2 times 3 plus 1 minus 3 being the second time plus 3. These are just, this is our birth rate, and this is our death rate. Well, as you can see here, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. minus 3 plus 3 is 6. So we have a rate of 7 minus 6, or 1, and this 1 represents thousands again. So we really have 1,000 penguins per year, but mostly we care about the fact that this is a positive 1. Since we have a positive 1, our number of penguins is increasing.